What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Rogue here. So, you guys already know I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh! For 20 plus years. In my 20 plus years, I've been through a lot of stuff playing this card game. And one thing I haven't talked about a lot on my channel that one of my viewers recently asked me to talk about is Burnout. So, we're going to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! Burnout today and how do I personally go through it. So, a lot of you guys like myself go to locals consistently. We're tournament grinders. Hell, a lot of us might even be casual players when I play heroes, that is. And a lot of the times when we're playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Constantly, the goal is to get better. We will experience burnout. You find yourself getting frustrated, flustered at your bad hands, going to tournaments all the time. Even if you do well, a lot of times you might just get bored. For example, recently my last three tournaments I've entered, I finished at least X1 or undefeated, and I'm doing fairly well with my pure rice deck. A lot of players pretty much stated that they think ain't the best build, but it's still a solidly good, decent rogue deck for the format, even though it's not really rogue. It's kind of like it was tier 1 in the LCG, damn near tier 0, and then TCG apparently is not as good because Mitsurugi exists. I'd highly disagree with that, but hey, I'm not a pro player. I'm not a guy who tops events every year, so who am I? I'm just a random nigga on YouTube, right? However, with that being said, I personally think no matter what deck you play, once you win a lot, you're going to get bored. The reason why you get bored because you have no challenge. So when I start feeling burnout in Yu-Gi-Oh! Card games, whatever, I usually do one or two things. First thing is I take a break. Recently, what I've been doing personally is not going to locals, but still giving you guys content. And alongside of not going to locals, I took a break from Dueling Book. You guys already know I was on a Dueling Book grind for you guys that follow my channel membership, which you should be a channel member because I will be dropping whatever spreadsheet of deck I'm playing at the time. I will be dropping a spreadsheet. Well, whatever. But yeah, whatever deck at the time, I will be dropping a spreadsheet for it. So if you want to get that, in addition to other channel perks, become a channel member. And I'll tell my channel members, like, while I was on a Dueling Book grind in the top 200, it's kind of hard to keep up maintaining that when you're getting burnt out because you got to take breaks. You don't want to look at a card game. And it typically starts for me personally after big events. Like, for example, YCS Houston, went to YCS Houston, played Yu-Gi-Oh! All day, made day two, scrubbed out day two. And by the time I got home, I kind of was like, man, I don't want to touch cards for like a week. But the competitiveness in me was like, man, I'm not satisfied that day two. I got to get some victories. And I went to locals to chase victories, and I did fairly well post YCS Houston. And then up until the format changed into Alliance Insight, which is legal today, by the way, I started feeling like, man, I don't want to play Yu-Gi-Oh! At all. In the last local tournament I went to and I finished X1, not only was I making dumbass misplays, which is also a big sign that you might be feeling burnout. Because a lot of times, too, when you're not really there mentally in the card game, where you're at the card shop and you're just like, well, I'm here, but your mind is elsewhere. You'd rather be doing other things. Some of you guys might rather be with your girls. Some of you guys rather just be at home watching a movie. Some of you guys might just rather go to a bar and enjoy other hobbies. And that's how I was feeling the last time I was at local. So after that tournament, I was like, yeah, I don't really feel like going no more. I'm gonna take a break. Alliance Insight's changing the format. I don't really have nothing to look forward to. This really goes back to my last video, which is when I talked about Yu-Gi-Oh! Toxicity and how Yu-Gi-Oh! Players actually like the change and the toxicness of the formats. Once a format is solved for me personally, and once I'm doing fairly well, I kind of get bored personally, and I got to take breaks. I typically like to enjoy my other hobbies, like Beyblade, for example. That's something I do with my son. I have fun, and I actually compete. Honestly, I bought a couple of Beyblades online to compete in the current metagame because guess what? Beyblade, the spin top game, does have a metagame. It's kind of crazy. Different combos give you higher chances of winning, and obviously you can get luck sack wins just like in Yu-Gi-Oh! But for the most part, very comparable to Yu-Gi-Oh! With a loyal fan base. Like every tournament I go to, it's like 60, 80 players tops. But I usually go to the bigger events, and their locals usually have about 30 players. So I typically try to enjoy my other hobbies to supplement my thirst for competitiveness, and also, just help me take a break from Yu-Gi-Oh! And miss it a little bit. Because when we don't miss anything, just like when you're dating, just like when you're hanging out with your friends too much, you gotta miss people in order to like enjoy it. So when you transfer back to Yu-Gi-Oh!, you gotta miss Yu-Gi-Oh! In order to enjoy it. So when you guys are feeling Yu-Gi-Oh! Burnout, take a break. Go join a hobby. Spend more time with your family, friends, your girlfriends, etc. Because that way you guys come back feeling refreshed. Like I was doing some play testing right now with my Riser deck. I played like 4 games. Got my ass kicked most of them, honestly, not gonna lie. Because my deck's a little clunky because of the way I built it. However, guess what? instantly, because it's a new format, change happened. It re-sparks my interest into playing more competitively. Some say it might be like more of an ego thing because I have to win constantly just to prove myself. Some may say it's just I'm addicted to the game. I'm addicted to the cardboard crack, as a lot of you guys call it, because I'm constantly giving my time and energy to Konami. And in the grand scheme of things, we don't really get anything for the prize support and all that good jazz. But at the end of the damn day, we complain about the game that we love. And people only really complain when we want things to get better. So burnout is something, at least for me personally, I just take breaks. I think that's the most obvious answer you can do whenever you're feeling burnt out from anything you do in life, but especially Yu-Gi-Oh! Or even if you say like, you feel like, hey, you're not really feeling burnt out from playing, you're just feeling burnt out from the game. It may be a time for you to change your deck up. Now, I experienced this when I played Heroes. When I was playing Heroes, I was going to locals every week. I was scrubbing out, maybe going X2. If I'm lucky, I go X1. That's the highlight of my weekend. I'm like, yes, I went X1 with Heroes. God forbid if I go undefeated somehow because my locals will have like a 3-round tournament, or I drew godly all day and my opponents drew bad. I was like, whoop, whoop, really, really having fun, made good content, videos like getting 10K views off the deck profile for the hero stuff. And, even then I was kind of like, I'm kind of bored of the hero deck. A lot of the times too, burnout comes from just playing the same old deck. Try switching your deck up. If you guys don't like playing the same deck all the time, everybody ain't me. Everybody can't play a deck for the same 8 years religiously. Sometimes you guys do that out of two reasons. One, you might not have enough money to invest into another deck. And two, you have loyalty to an inanimate object, which is your cards. If you really want to be good at this game and you really care about doing well like I do, you got to ask yourself a question and look in the mirror and say, hey, what do I want out of this game? If the answer is to have fun, by all means, play your deck. But if you're not having fun, you might be lying to yourself. See, the thing is, I think a lot of people who play card games or anything competitive for the most part, they lie to themselves. I really don't think a casual audience exists to 100% degree, because the real people I don't think the casual people who say they're casual are really casual. I personally think a lot of people who claim to be casual players are just people who are competitive, but they want things to be the way they want it to be instead of looking at things for how they are. For example, we are currently in a format where Malice is arguably one of the best decks, Rizel another best deck, Rizel Mitsurugi another best deck, and then everything else is pretty much under those. But Malice and something with Rizel is the top dogs of the format. But for some odd reason, people still want to complain about the format. It's like, dude, if you don't want to play a top dog, play one of the other good decks for the format, like not pure Mitsurugi, like freaking Fire King. My boy Brandon, he been going decently well at locals with the Fire King deck. Dinkabui, a well-known pro player, won a YCS with a Fire King deck. Mementos, won 2 YCSs back to back. So there's good decks outside of the main decks that everyone's calling the boogeyman. Like, oh my God, Rise, oh my God, it's Malice. But in actuality, bro, just pick one of those good decks and call it a day. Now you might say, hey, I want to play my hero deck. I want to play my black one deck. It don't work that way. It don't work that way. Konami has to make their money. They have to cycle in good decks between each format because that's going to sell new products. We all know this. We play card games, or if you don't know it, you should know it. That's how card games work. We don't have block format, which is set rotation. So the natural progression of things outside of having set rotation is insane power creep. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a different card game because unlike other card games, we have the luxury of using old decks from back in the day in a current format. And that deck might be trash. However, you can't get mad when your trash deck gets smacked up at a tournament. Guess what? You don't have to play in a tournament. You can just go play with your homies. You can play online. Now, the other argument is, oh, I can't play online. I can't play with my homies. I want to go in person to play with locals. Most of my homies don't play Yu-Gi-Oh! Well, beggars can't be choosers, dog. You guys have to pick a battle. You're going to go to locals, meet people. If you can't meet people, maybe the card game just ain't for you, and that's okay. I think a lot of people just be real with themselves and see what they want out of the card game. So, in short, to wrap this whole point up, because the video is going way longer than I wanted it to be, burnout happens to everybody for multiple different reasons. Either you're going to switch your deck up to see if that's the really reason why you're getting burnt out, because usually when I switch my deck up, I have a blast playing a new deck. Or if you're winning too much or just kind of getting tired of the format, take a break, find something else to do, and then come back with a refreshed mind. So Let me know what you guys think about this topic. Comment this down below. Like the video if you're new here. Want to subscribe for more? Subscribe for more. We're almost at 23K subs. And we're almost at 30K subs. Hopefully we get 30K subs at the end of the year, but if not, it's all good. I'm just trying my best to be the best YouTuber I can. It's your boy Rogue Hero, and I'm signing out. Also, one more thing from the Jackie Chan show. Who used to watch Jackie Chan show? Let me know in the comment section down below. Gorillas versus men. One gorilla versus 100 men. Who will win? Also, make sure to check out my sponsors in the description down below, tradingcardman.com, to save you guys some money on some Yu-Gi-Oh products. 7% off with my code ROGUE7. They are local in Illinois. Really awesome shop. All right, man. Peace. See you guys in the next video.